Seafan Sports, a sports show that is dedicated to the Seattle sports fans. My name is Dave. This is Kevin, and this is a draft special. The number 9 pick is what we are going to be talking about here today at Seafan Sports, Kevin. Man, I tell you what, we may have lost Russell, but we've got a top 10 pick. I cannot, the last top 10 pick we had was Russell Okung.
Yep.
And so that seems like ages ago. That guy's retired and living on a beach, I think, somewhere. I'm not exactly sure, but that's where he is. But we're going to tell you what our top 2, what we think the Seattle could do, and then we're going to throw in a wild card of what we think that they. I know, right? The Bruce Irvin pick that we could have, that comes out of left field. Each one of us has one, and we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to be on the board first.
I'm going to come right out and say, I don't think we're going to hang on to this pick. No matter what our picks are, I think John's going to throw a wrench in it and trade back.
So what you're saying, Kevin, when we hear this sound, it's going to be to announce a trade?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Kevin, I'm going to go first with the guy that I think could be our first pick at number 9. Our first pick at number 9 out of Mississippi State, Charles Cross, 6'5", 305. He ran a 4.95 40. He is a better pass defender than a run defender. He doesn't seem to be able to get the run defense as well, run blocking down as much as the pass blocking. However, he is supposed to be a great blocker when it comes to the passing game. He's able to extend his arms. I've read a lot of mock drafts where we're taking Charles Cross at the number 9 spot. Kevin, do you have anything that you want to add on Charles?
No, I think he's a solid pick. I think there's other opportunities for other offensive tackles before him. And so I just think that there's going to be some prizes in the top 7 picks. I think 2 quarterbacks are going to go off the draft board, which is going to shake things up. So,
all right, Kevin. Well, the commissioner's walking across the stage, and you have your chance to pick. Who are you taking first?
Well, if I have my choice of anybody in the draft, at our pick, it's Kayvon Thibodeau, the edge rusher from Oregon, 6'4", 254 pounds. He's got 33 1/8 inch arms. I mean, his initial momentum off the snap, they consider fast and furious. He has speed, and speed. They also say he's got very twitchy hands, and I've watched some videos, and he is very grabsy. I mean, he is definitely using his hands to do what he needs to do. Has great backside burst to wipe out running backs. In 2021, he had 49 total tackles, 36 solo, 7 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. This kid, I know there's been some knocks on him, but I just think that it's all about the athletic, the freak show, in my opinion. And this kid is a freak.
Kevin, I have some opinions on Thibodeau. Okay. First of all, I think he gives me a little bit of a clowny vibe. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but not get home. I also think he's all about his brand, and he's more worried about the Thibodeau show. And I honestly, after watching the quarterback that we've had that's been more about his brand than being a Seattle Seahawk, I honestly think that I pass on Thibodeau. But you know what? Unfortunately, I'm not making the shots.
Well, and you know what? I would take Clowney any day. I mean, yeah, he might not have got home. He might not have got the sack, but he put pressure on that quarterback. Well, hopefully somebody else is there to get him. So if he makes him move out of the pocket, do something quicker than he wants to, throw the ball faster than he needs to, I'm all for that. It doesn't have to add up to sacks. It doesn't have to. It's called disruption, and this kid is a disruptor.
All right, Kevin. Well, let's move along to our second pick.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner's walking across the.
Oh, man.
All right, Kevin. So, with my second pick, I'm going to go edge this time, except I'm going to take an edge rusher out of Florida State, Jermaine Johnson II. Kevin, this guy has a 4.58 40. He is 6'5", 254 pounds. This guy has power and intensity. He plays every down like his hair is on fire. Kevin, he had 70 tackles, 12 sacks, and 18 tackles for loss. This guy was an absolute stud for Florida State University, and I think that I'm really excited. I like his motor way more than Thibodeau's on a down in and down out basis. So that's my pick to be the edge that we go after if he falls to Seattle. I've seen him all over the draft numbers, and in fact, he's been a high riser. Kevin, any thoughts that you have on Jermaine?
I absolutely love this kid as well. He's definitely in there. He was. We're trying to pick different people, and he was one of my guys that I really, really liked. So I'm glad he was on your board.
He is on my board. All right, Kevin, you've now turned in the card to the commissioner. Who's your next?
Well, I'm taking an offensive tackle that might not be there, but I've seen some draft boards that he's kind of falling down a little bit. I've seen him in the top pick. I've seen him at pick number 11. So I'm going with offensive tackle Ikem Ikwau. We're going to call him Icky from here on out. He's 6'4", 310 pounds, 34-inch arm, 10.25-inch hand. He is very flexible with adequate quickness in zone blocking schemes, which is what we're going to go to. The thing that I like about him, one, the Athletic called him the most feared lineman in the ACC. He plays with an extremely violent filled demeanor. To me, that screams Coach Carroll and John Snyder. Hey, this guy, if you're going to take somebody to a fight in an alley, this is a guy you're going to bring with you. The other thing that I like about this guy is they said that he is an excellent locker room guy. And I think he would fit right in with the Seahawks. So if he's on that board, he's the guy I want.
All right, Kevin, I can't disagree with any of that stuff. I honestly don't think this guy's going to be able to fall to us at number 9, but I would be more than excited to see him starting at left tackle next season.
Yep.
So let's hope. Fingers crossed. All right, Kevin, it's time for the wild card. What wild card right here? This is a guy that I think either we move down to get, or it could be one of those things where we draft him and everybody's scratching their heads. For me, I know it's like, who is that guy? People are looking him up. My guy is Trevor Pennington out of Northern Iowa, 6'7", 330 pounds. He ran a 5 flat 40. This guy is supposed to have great athletic ability. He's able to lower his pad and be nasty. He is supposed to be an absolute nasty blocking machine. He does the run extremely well. That's why I think if they had a choice between Cross and they had a choice between Pennington, I think that they would go with Pennington all day long, just because I believe this guy is just going to be an absolute road grader at left tackle. He's a weight room freak, and violent hands is what I read on him in several reports. I think he would be a great addition. I think we could probably trade back, 5, 6, 7 spots in the draft and still be able to come away with him and pick up some additional draft capital And then we'd have that left tackle of the future. Kevin, your thoughts on Trevor?
Once again, in my opinion, there's 4 offensive tackles that I'd want. We've already talked about 3 of them. The other one is Evan Neal, which we know he's not going to be there for us. So I like this guy. I like all 4 of these offensive tackles. I think they're going to be an absolute improvement on our team. And if we could, go backwards in the draft, pick up a couple more picks and get this guy, I'm on board.
All right. Kevin is on board. Kevin, give me your wild card, because I'm excited to hear it.
Okay. Well, I'm going with another freak show, and that is one Jordan Davis, a defensive tackle from Georgia, 6'6", 341 pounds. This guy ran a 4.78 40 at the combine for 341 pound guy. That is insane. He also had a 32-inch vertical leap, which is crazy, in a 10.3 broad jump. He's just another freak, and he was an all first team SEC. This guy, I love freak athletes. I love guys that are just unbelievable, and this guy is one of them.
We had a freak athlete that played defensive tackle at one point in time in the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Cortez Kennedy, it was not supposed to move the way that he moved at the size he was. And to see Seattle go after another guy that is able to move at that weight, bring it on. Absolutely bring it on. And if you notice, there's a little theme with our draft party here tonight. We've gone offensive tackle and defensive line.
Yep.
Nothing else, no quarterbacks. We went trenches, because that's what Kevin and I believe that we're going to do with this first pick. No Malik Willis, no Drake London, none of that.
No, and I actually looked at even, possibly doing a cornerback, but I just like these guys better. I think we have a solid cornerbacks. I even think we have a solid defensive line. I'm not arguing that. I think we need another quality edge rusher.
Yeah.
But when you can pick up a guy like this, especially with trading back and grabbing a couple more draft picks and still getting this guy, same as Pennington, I like this. I mean, that would be exciting. And I know he's in the top 15 probably in most drafts, but boy, I like this guy.
I do too, Kevin. Well, Kevin, there's only one other thing that I really want to discuss this week. Or today, actually. Little Bobby Wagner agreed to terms with the Los Angeles Rams. It's a 5-year, $50 million contract, up to $65 million with incentives. I guarantee you, when the guarantees come in, it'll be between 22 and 25 mil a year, somewhere in that neighborhood. This deal is good for Bobby. And for all of the Seahawks fans that are complaining that we got rid of Bobby, if Bobby would have been worth the $20 million contract that we had coming up this year, he would have got $20 million in the open market. Mm-hmm. He did not get $20 million, didn't even get close to $20 million. We were able to do the right thing by Bobby, release him so he could catch on with a team that has a chance at a Super Bowl. Not saying that Kevin, it does still believes that is an option for us, but I think that we did right by him, so that Jordan Brooks and Cody Barton absolutely are going to be able to develop and be able to hold down that middle of the field. I think it's a good situation for everybody all around. And I tell you what, I will cheer for Bobby. Unlike another player that went to the Denver Broncos that we're not going to name, I will absolutely cheer for Bobby. Not when the Rams play the Seahawks, but, secretly every time he does well, I'll be happy for him. Kevin, what are your thoughts on Bobby Wagner?
Agreed. I think, I want to see what the guarantees are, because in all reality, it's a 5-year deal. I mean, he's never going to play 5 years. I mean, if he does, more power to him, but I just don't see it. Being the age he is and playing linebacker and as physical as he's been for the last 10 years, his body's going to wear out eventually. And, so I think it's a great move from Bobby's point. He gets to play with a great team, and, that's going to be an impressive defense with him in there. And so hats off to him. They got a shot at making it to the Super Bowl again, I believe. And, I'm okay with it. I wish he would have gone to the Ravens, because then we wouldn't have to see him a couple times a year. But I think it's a good move for both sides. We couldn't pay him $20 million a year. He wasn't worth it. And if he wasn't going to play with us at $10 million a year, then go get it somewhere else. So I'm okay with it.
I just don't see how he can return to the locker room and play for $10 million. There is a certain level of pride there, and I can't blame him for that.
No, I don't blame him.
I don't think I could cut my pay by half and walk in and do the same job that I did. It just wouldn't make sense for the people around me.
Right.
All right, Kevin. Well, that's it for this week of Seahawks Weekly, unless you have something else.
Go Hawks.
I don't even have to say 2 words. Peace out. Have a good one. See you guys next week.